Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how I made this skirt for my set. It's chunky. I used 4 different colors and I made this in less than 3 hours. So it is really quick and easy. So I'll be showing you how I made it. I'll also make the tutorial for the sweater in case you want the full set. Stay tuned for that. So like I said, I used 4 colors all in one, so it's quite chunky, it's quite cozy, and I really love the fit of it. You can make it in any size that you want. All you need is your hips measurements and how long you want it to be. And I used a single crochet stitch, which is quite popular and easy for most beginners. So let's dive into the tutorial. Like I said, you will need to take your measurements, so you will need a tape measure, scissors. For the hook size, I used an 8.0 millimeter hook, but you can also use a 9 millimeter for this project. For the yarn, I'm using 4 strands at a go. That's why the hook is big. So I'm using these colors, 2 different types. There's the Grundle. It recommends a 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter hook. It's 50 grams and 133 meters. Same as the Volley Do. It's also 50 grams, 100% acrylic. It recommends the same hook size. But because we are using all the 4 colors, this yarn is more like of a DK yarn. So it's 4 colors, 4 strands of yarn. That's why I'm using the 8.0 millimeter. You can use up 9. So yeah, get your yarn ready, get your hook ready, and we are just going to start right away. So we are going to start from the lower waist all the way down first. And then once we are done, then we'll do the waist, okay? The high waist. So to start, get your 4 strands. I'm using 4 colors, so it's 4 strands. You can use 3, you can use any that you want. So make a slip knot, and I'm going to make chains long enough to fit my hips measurements. Subtract 7 inches because it is quite stretchy, right? So we are subtracting the 7 inches just to have a good fit. We don't want it so baggy and not looking nice. We want it to fit perfectly because it is stretchy like this, okay? So my hips measurements are 33 inches. When I take away 7, I remain with 26 inches. As you can see, I made my foundation chain of 26 inches. I'm a size extra small, all right? So we straighten this chain. Once we have our chain, we straighten it up, and we are going to join to the first chain using a slip stitch. Go into your first chain and join this using a slip stitch, and now we have our big circle, which is our waist. This will be the lower waist. So we're going to work from lower waist all the way down. So you're going to chain 1, and we will use single crochet. So you're going to go into that very first chain and make a single crochet. Go into your next chain, make your next single crochet, make sure you're not leaving out any strands. Okay, go into your next chain, make another single crochet, and for row 1 it's going to be 1 single crochet in every chain until you get to the end of the round. And yeah, I'll meet you just to finish off the first round, then we'll start on the second round. All right. So I'm coming to the end of round 1, and this is going to be my last stitch. So count your stitches and make sure you have the same number on every row. So to close this row off, we are going to on top of the first chain and make a slip knot. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Okay, so we are going to be turning our work. This is because I want the same pattern as my sweater. All right, so I'm going to go right into this first stitch and make a single crochet. Go into the next stitch, make a single crochet, and we are working in both loops. So go into your third stitch, make a third single crochet. Every round we have the same number of stitches, so that is very important. Make sure you're not increasing or decreasing. It's the same number of stitches in every round. So you're going to go in every stitch making 1 single crochet until you get to the end of the round, and I'll meet you there so that we finish off round 2 and start on round 3. It's basically a repeat of one row, single crochet, one round. Okay, so I'm at the end, and this is where my round ends. This was my last single crochet. I have the same number of single crochets like the previous one. You can either slip stitch on top of the first single crochet, or you slip stitch on top of the chain that we made before turning, but I'll be slip stitching in the chain. Make sure you have all your strands on your hook. Slip stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. So these first stitches and last stitches are very important. Make sure you're not increasing or decreasing, you just have the same number. So to start off my row, I'll go right into that very first stitch. That's my single crochet on top of the previous single crochet. So I'm working on top of the previous single crochet in every stitch. Okay, where I see a single crochet, that's where I place my single crochet. So go all the way around. Once you get to the end, you are going to make a slip stitch and basically chain 1 and turn your work, then repeat. This is the pattern. We are repeating a round of single crochets, You're going to do this until you get to a point, the height of the skirt that you want, from your lower waist where you want your skirt to reach, and then I'll meet you so that we can do the waist part, the high waist part, which is a bit smaller than the rest of the body. Okay, all right, so I did rows and rows and rows, and I have 12 inches. This is how long I want my skirt to be, depending as in from my lower waist all the way down. Now we are going to cut off our yarn on this side. This is the bottom. Cut off our yarn and work the waist up. All right, so at this point, my black yarn was finished, and I was using only 3 colors, only for me to later discover I had some leftover stash somewhere, and I unraveled and included that black yarn, but it is the same pattern. I didn't want to reshoot it, so reattach your yarn and chain 1. And we are going to make single crochets in the first 5 stitches. We'll be making reductions in this row. So I'm going to make single crochets in the first 5 stitches and then make a reduction. Because my hips are not, they are close to my waist measurements, like 33 to 26. So if your hips are so big, then instead of reducing after 5, you might want to reduce maybe after 3 stitches. Or maybe 4, depending on how big the difference is. So once you have your 5 single crochets, in the 6th stitch, we'll make a decrease. I'll go in the first one and go out of the 2nd stitch, and then make a single crochet. So I've worked 2 single crochets, but only once. So then I do 5 single crochets. That's 1, that's 2, 3, I'm not working in this 2 chains but in one. 4, 5, and then I make a reduction, so I'll go in one like this and go out of the other. That's 2 stitches in one, and then just make 1 single crochet. So that's my reduction. Okay, and then I'll do again 5 and then make a reduction. So these already worked in those 2, so I'll go into the next one where I've not worked. Okay, just one more time. So I work here like this in 2 stitches at a go, and then go into the next one. So work 5 single crochets and make a decrease. So like I said, if your hips are way bigger than your waist, you might want to work maybe after every 3 stitches or after every 4 stitches instead of 5, so that your waist is a bit more smaller. And you may ask, oh, how do I put on my skirt on after that? It won't pass my hips. It might not pass your hips, but it can pass over your head, right? We want really a good fit. So go all around. I'm at the end of round 1, and to close this off, we are going to slip stitch on top of the first single crochet, and this time around we are working straight, not turning our work. Okay, so chain 1, and in this very first stitch you'll make a single crochet. So we are done with our decrease row, and now we are just going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of the round. Okay, if at this point you still feel like your waist is big, then you can do a few more increases, and this is, you can determine this by just how it looks or how you measure it and see. I think at this point I had like 20 inches of the waist, so if you think you still need to make a few more decreases, then you can make maybe a decrease after every 10 stitches, or a decrease after 8 stitches for this second row too. So go around and I meet you back here. All right, so I'm at the end of the round. As for me, I didn't make any more decreases, so I'll just slip stitch this, chain 1. We are not turning our work, we are working same direction. So go into this first stitch with a single crochet, and I'm going to work single crochets all through until the end of the round. And once I'm at the end of the round, I will continue working single crochets. I worked until I had 6 rows of single crochet. That's about 2.5 inches. If you want it longer, then work more inches. All right, like I said, I found some black yarn, and so I unraveled everything and did again with black. So 2.5 inches. If you want it longer, please add more rows. And basically, yeah, I did 6 rows of the waist. Okay, so you can wear the skirt over your head. As for me, it even passes over my hips, but if your hips are big, then you can just wear it over your head. If you like, if it is still loose at the waist, you can make a chain and pass it through this last row as a drawstring, and then you can always adjust the waist. All right, so I hope you like it. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy, it's pretty cool, because you wear this and nobody even knows it's crochet because it looks too good, and I love the colors. So I hope you like it too, because it's my favorite set at the moment. For the sweater, I'm going to be making adjustments. For some people, they like it longer with like with a ribbing, so I'll add the ribbing, but I will also of course tell you how I made this without the ribbing. And if you're interested in the whole set, so I'll be uploading the video next, so please subscribe, share, and don't forget to like and comment. I'll thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.